Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hand Spinner Review Spot YouTube channel. You can click on the link in the description below to go to our Facebook page, and if you feel so inclined and like what we're doing here, please give us a like and subscribe in both places and hit the notification bell over here so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. There's lots of stuff coming thick and fast at the moment. Today we're going to look at something a bit different. This isn't a spinner review, this is an accessory, a tool, whatever you want to call it. These are bearing removal tools from SpinnerTools, and it's a big cartel website. I'll stick a link in the description below, and they've kindly also, not only have they sent these over to me to review, they've also offered a 20% off discount code for a week from when this review is posted on their website as well. So I'll stick that discount code below, and a gracious thank you to them for that, because that's really nice for both you guys and for me to be able to offer you something in that way. So what have we got here? Well, we've got two different versions. I don't really know why I'm showing this, because it's no longer available, but this is a review and I'm going to be honest, and I would like to see this available again. I understand that means they have to do both of them and it's a bit of a pain and all the rest of it, but originally you had this size for your 608 bearings, and you had this, keep on getting this the wrong way around today, you had this size for the R188 bearings and you had this size for the 608 bearings. They've since changed it so that effectively you also get the part to do your 608s with this one. Now there are really good reasons for that, which is that you get much more leverage when you're trying to take a bearing out. So if you've got a stubborn bearing, I would definitely use this over this, but there are certain designs in which this works better. So we'll come on to that in a second. So how do they actually work? Well, I might as well show you with this one. Effectively you have a threaded bolt with a wing nut on the end of it. This is what you came to YouTube for, wasn't it? To watch a man unscrew a bolt. Oh yes. So we take this section off of here, and this is what you've got. This is 3D printed in PLA. It's very tough. I'm not overly concerned about it doing any harm, but equally it should be softer than any of the metals you're putting it up against, so it shouldn't do any harm to your spinners. If you are concerned about that, you could put some tape, like some masking tape or something, around this surface here, and I might do that with some of my more prized pieces that I'm terrified of doing any harm to, because I'm sad. Yeah, so there's that. This section here removes a 608, and this section here removes an R188, and then you have a little washer that goes between your wing nut and your actual press point. So what do you do from that point? You then take a spinner. I've already used this, obviously, anything that I review on this channel, I should say this, everything I review on this channel, I don't just get it in and the next day I do a review for it without having tried it, or if it's a spinner, having carried it for a few days or whatever else. All the reviews have some actual use background in them, because I want to give you guys an honest and informed opinion. So what you do is you put this over here like that. I've already used this. This is actually obviously a stubby, but it's got a 1-drop bearing in there, a 10-ball R188 stainless steel, which everyone's raving about at the moment. So I thought, what better time to use this tool and try it out than to switch that bearing into a few different spinners. You put the correspondingly sized, you see this is the same diameter or just under an R188, so you just put it on top. You then put your washer on, put your wing nut on top of that, push it down. This has obviously already been taken out, so obviously this will be quite easy for me because I haven't glued this bearing back in because it's a tight enough fit, but you just simply screw down. What you will find is that if the bearing is glued or it's a tight press fit, there might be a little bit of resistance. You hold that firmly with one hand and just evenly turn the other side. And there we go, that's your bearing popped out. You will get sort of a pop moment almost, where the adhesive breaks when you first do them a lot of the time, but it's really no problem at all, and there's not a huge amount of pressure being put on the spinner. So there we go, and then you've got your bearing left in there, which will pop back out again. See some adhesive left behind, and then you can just press the little core out, or you can use the end of your wing nut or your screw there to get rid of that, and there we have a body. So if you're a customizer, or even you're a budding customizer, or you want to flame something but you don't want to deform the bearing, these would be great. Or if you're just someone who wants to swap different bearings in and out of spinners. For a long time people have had wrenches and hammers and all that kind of thing. Unless you've had the kit, people haven't really been very confident to do this sort of thing. This makes it quick, it makes it easy, it makes it safe, and I have only good things to say about it, to be honest, because I'm one of those guys. I mean, I've been doing little bits of customization work to spinners since I first got into them, but removing bearings like this has always posed a bit of a problem, and the ways I've had to do it have always left me being a little bit more worried about doing it than I might be. But this, it's easy. Then all you do is get your bearing. In this case, as I say, it's already been done once, so it's easy. So I can just press that back into place, get it as even as possible. If you had kind of a bearing that was a bit of a problem, or a spinner that wobbled, then you'd have to be a lot more careful, but this is a very snug fit with high tolerances from rotor blades, so it's no problem at all. You then put your buttons back on. In this instance, this is almost now like a medium strength. There's a little bit of debris gone in the bearing there, so I'd need to clean it, but it's now running very nicely. It's very even because the tolerances are good. It's like basically a close slip fit. It is a press fit effectively, but it's an extremely tight tolerance press fit, so there's no problems with the bearing there. If the bearing was sliding backwards and forwards too easily, you would then get out some Loctite. This is in a different bottle just because it's easier for me to use. This is Loctite 222. It's purple Loctite. It's low strength thread locker. The blue version's also fine. You put a little dab around the inside track of here. There we go. And I mean a very small amount just smeared inside there. Then press your bearing in. You can use what's left to actually get your bearing pressed in if you want from the kit, which is quite good, or you can actually use the kit itself, set it up like that with the bearing on top and then this on top, and so from there you can actually press the bearing in evenly with this as well. So if you've got a very tight press fit or something like that, that works. But if you're using the adhesive, just slide it in, make sure you don't fudge any adhesive into the bearing itself, and then clean up the outside edge where some will have almost certainly seeped out, with a little paper towel. And then you're done. You've swapped a bearing if you even needed to Loctite it in the first place. So yeah, these I'm really happy with these. They're pretty cost effective. They seem very robust. I've done at least, I think probably 6 or 7 bearing swaps with them now in both the 608 format and the R188 with this guy. And yeah, I'm very pleased. Now, why do I want this one to come back? It sounds ridiculous, but it's basically only because, for me, there will be other examples as well, but in my collection and what I've tried so far, the thing that's caused a problem is these guys. This is a compass from Zero Feud. I just find that this doesn't really have a place to rest in there. I can't show you really very easily without going over the top, but it just doesn't seat very well, and it makes it a little bit nerve-wracking. Eventually it will go over because this will deform slightly under the pressure, and so what you actually get is this kind of all of a sudden being a snug fit round there. It's just a little bit... you might also find it on something like this Random Fabrications Portal. I haven't actually tried that one, but it's possible. So I kind of like the idea of having a smaller body, and in some ways I would say it might be worth having a set whereby you didn't get an extra nut and bolt and all the rest of it, because you don't really need that. You basically got this and just this little piece at the bottom, so you had sort of 2 options for the way that it seats on the actual spinner. That's all I would say. Apart from that, they're great. They're simple, 3D printed, clever idea, really well done, and thank you to the guys at SpinnerTools for giving us the 1 week 20% off code. Yeah, everything I do here, I hope that you know from all of the comments I've made on the channel in the past, is completely honest, and if I didn't like these, I'd tell you. I think these are a really good thing to have around, and if you're into spinners and you've got a bit of a collection, I would definitely get them, because you never know when you want to swap a bearing out or you have a problem with a bearing or something like that. So, I've managed to talk for 8 minutes about some 3D printed PLA things that push bearings out. Yeah. See you next time, guys. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.